Hello, I'm Marsin Alshamary. I'm an assistant professor of political science at Boston College. My research is broadly on religion and protest and civil society in the Middle East, and at CURA I'm presenting a paper with my co-author who is a graduate student at Boston College, Akash Chopra, and we're working on a paper about religious pilgrimages and the development of civil society in Iraq and India. Yeah, so the paper raises an idea of religious pilgrimages and their role in fostering civil society, and it looks particularly at two pilgrimages, one that takes place in Iraq and one that takes place in India. And it makes the argument that recurring pilgrimages have an effect on the local population and makes them more likely to develop skills that lend themselves to the organization of civil society. By hosting a pilgrimage, we argue people are more likely to develop logistical skills and communication skills and other skills that are necessary for organizational development. And we argue that you'll find a higher density of organizations in cities that play host to pilgrimage. We also argue that the experience of being in a pilgrimage makes people more pro-social, makes them more trusting, and makes them qualitatively different than people who don't host pilgrimage, and we try to examine that in both cases as well. And finally, we also think that there's something economic about pilgrimages, that pilgrimages generate a lot of wealth for a community, and that leads to the development of organizations that try to protect or manage that wealth from the state. This project started off as a paper when I was in graduate school and I was taking a class on civil society, and the class was very generically about civil society, but as I was learning about civil society I had thought about my own experiences participating in religious pilgrimages and realized that there is a connection between the two, but that's very much unstudied. No one had made the link before, and then the project sat on my desk for years, and then when I started my job as an assistant professor at Boston College I met a student who studies India, and we were talking about different religious pilgrimages, and we realized that we both studied countries that host some of the world's biggest pilgrimages. So the biggest pilgrimages in the world are in Iraq and India. They're always in the millions, and if you Google any article about the largest scale pilgrimages in the world, the top 4 to 5 categories will be taken up by these two countries. So we realized we had a really good point of comparison here, and so we wanted to examine them alongside one another, and that's really what led to the genesis of this paper. Political science isn't always a relevant field, right? Like certain things might come and go, but politics is always going to have a direct impact on everyone's life. It's also a very flexible field where you can pursue particular questions in depth at any point you want without them having to necessarily fit a certain mold. So, I'm happily situated in CURA, which is very interdisciplinary, but I'm also happily situated in political science, and it is a unique field in that it actually speaks to a lot of other ones. So that's what I enjoy about it, its flexibility and the fact that it is actually always relevant. Oh, I'm very excited to be part of CURA. It's genuinely been my favorite workshop because you always get really great feedback because people read everything before they come, and I really enjoy the interdisciplinary aspect. I've learned so much from anthropologists and sociologists and scholars of religion who are here. It is, without exaggeration, my favorite workshop that I've ever been a part of, so I hope to be able to remain as a peripheral CURA fellow since I am in the Boston area.